and welcome to Gag of the Millennial.
A show where we talk about pop culture,
current events,
and fill the hot Darjeeling right into your laps.
Goldie Waldy, we switched that around.
Oh, hi everyone.
Hello.
So, if you look to my right, we have the gorgeous Novympia here. Woo! Bail. They've gone.
She's released on bail.
Yeah, it's been released. Today we are joined by the wonderful Novympia here, and we thought it would be wonderful as first-time guests to embarrass them. So today we're all talking about most embarrassing incidents we've ever had in our lives. Anything we've done that's been mortifying
ever in the life.
Yeah, some of the stories Luxeria has cannot be on the internet.
No, they can't, so I shan't be sharing those
No.
today. Thank you.
So hi, how are you doing?
Yes, how are you?
I think there's very few people on the internet that can like match the level of insanity that we have on our channel, and I think you go as far as exceed that. So yeah.
Yes, but I would also like to point out that you're trying to embarrass us, and I don't think that's possible anymore.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
So, who would like to go first? I think you're the guest, so one of you should tell your most embarrassing story first.
Well, but we were obviously we discussed this beforehand. We were just like, okay, what would be good? What's something that we want to just put in a box and never talk about ever again?
Yeah. So tell us now.
And then there was one where Nova.
So both of my stories happen in exactly the same place. But the second one,
Oh, multifaceted.
but the second one, I was so drunk I didn't fully understand it was happening as it was happening. It was only really like people that I was with, just like, you did that. I was just like,
Oh, that's
no.
really
Yes.
relatable for me.
But what's
No.
the first part of this?
Okay, well, the first part. So we were in one of our local gay bars, which is now sadly
gay?
Guy, call the press. The sun is quaking.
This is a bar that you went to after
sun
like
is
the main nice bar. So that bar closes and then you go to this like dirty one. So it was kind of like the end of the night. I believe it was Halloween. I think it was Halloween and I was dressed up as Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, excellent.
And
I don't know what this
everybody
story is.
everybody
I have no
thought
idea what this is.
everybody thought I was Iggy Azalea because I immediately lost my steak that I made.
Oh, God.
And for some reason people thought I was Iggy Azalea.
Until they looked
so
at your ass and they realised, no, flat as a witch's tit.
I was wearing a white like mesh crop top thing, and this was before I had a breastplate, and I had bought. Are you familiar?
Breast or
breast, yeah.
breasts.
Are you familiar with those like prosthetic boobs you can get, like the
Like the individual
individual
ones?
Yeah,
Yes,
fancy
yeah,
ones,
yeah. So I had recently purchased like the
Chicken
teardrop
fillets.
ones.
Yeah.
Yes, like glorified chicken fillets. I had very nice ample bosoms, and I had these like prosthetic titties in. So I'm on the dance floor. And I don't know what music was on because the music's generally terrible in there. And I'm giving it all this and I'm loving it. And yeah. And then I see a small group of people, maybe a few feet away, like pointing at something on the dance floor, laughing.
Gathered around.
And I was like, what are they looking at? What is that? What's so funny? And this club is so dirty, so it really could have been anything. Like, it could have been anything. So basically, I go over to this small group of people and I think, like, what is this? And it is one of my tits. And they have, like, nipples on them and everything. So it was, like, absolutely ridiculous.
So I was like, excuse me, I found a tit.
So they
they
watched as I like bent down and picked it up and just like put it back in my top.
That is so
I was just
disgusting,
like,
but also
la, la,
amazing at the same
la, la.
time.
But this isn't the same time when you then went
Not the
up
same
to
time, different
But it's
time.
the same. This bar, when I tell you, and they.
Well, are we doing both of my stories together? Or
Yes.
Oh no,
yes.
well you can do if you want.
can
I
mix
mean,
and
No,
match.
whilst we're in this area of this horrendous bar, we might as well just carry on with how. So the
Different night.
One point that's worth noticing is that there was a drug problem, and they said that there was like a drug problem at this bar, and their solution for stopping people from doing cocaine in this club, and there's audio footage of this at like a tribunal. And it was like the manager. It was like the manager or something said, "Well, we're going to stop that because we're going to put bleach on all the surfaces."
And the police in this meeting, the response, there was like a moment of silence. There was a pause,
I'm
and he
so
goes,
confused.
please don't do that.
Please don't do that. They were just like, well, if people are snorting something, we'll just put bleach on all the surfaces.
And kill people.
Yeah, literally.
Literally,
Yeah,
yes.
literally that.
Horrendous. But there was this
guy,
awkward
he was like,
pause, and all of a sudden it was,
Murder.
please don't do that.
Please don't do that. Anyway, so the other part of this is we're at this bar and Nova goes in and Nova's steaming. And when Nova's steaming, like a lot of people, she gets very complimentary.
Oh, yes, I know all about that.
Yeah,
Losing a
very,
bag
very
and giving away lots
complimentary.
of money.
And there was a queen who had recently lost her father. It's very, very. It's not.
was
That's
Elizabeth.
not a funny side of this story. She lost her father. So Nova goes into this bar and there's a queen taking like money at the door, and it's
Yeah,
not.
she was the door bitch.
It's
for the
not-
night.
Oh, I thought she was just taking money at the door.
No, she was the door bitch for the night.
They probably would have done in there. It was that sort. But this queen was not the queen who had lost her father. So Nova storms in.
No, but in my defense, because they kind of like all get ready together, they all show each other. So she looked a lot like her makeup was very, very similar. Very similar. They share drag a lot as well. The queens that used to work at this bar,
Don't
they used to
try and
share
defend
hair.
this.
They used to share clothes, and I was. So you can see where this is going.
So I'm with Charmaine, who's our friend Charmaine. We're standing, and I said, Char, Nova's going over to her. She thinks that's the one. No, Nova, don't say anything. And I, slow motion, reached out to grab her shoulder.
Don't name names.
And just before I did it, Nova went, I'm so sorry about your father. And I was like, oh, she did it.
no.
Oh, no, she did it. And this queen went,
Oh no.
And I have no memory of how I responded to her telling me that I had the wrong
Immediately
person.
left.
I do not remember how I responded to that. I've got no memory of it.
you
so I don't
just
know.
walked away. Like you literally just went,
Bye.
it was like you couldn't compute the awkwardness that you literally just walked off. And I just stood there and I was just like, huh. I was like, huh, yeah, yes. What do you do? What are you supposed to do to that situation? You're such a
I
dickhead.
just love that you could see it happening in slow motion.
Well, you should have taken out a breast and given her a
Yeah,
breast.
here you go. Here's a nice breast. I'm sorry for your loss. Here's a tit.
My breast fell out
I'm so
earlier
sorry
on.
for your loss. It's a bosom.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty bad. You are a prick though.
Bad.
So that's pretty bad. That was pretty bad. So I think we'll put a pin in that bar.
Yeah, put a pin in that. Yeah.
Yes. Should we volley over to you guys?
Yeah,
Yes,
would you
well,
like to go first?
I've got a story about tits as well. So recently, I was at home. Well, so spoiler alert: at home, do you ever just like not in like clothes are optional at home? No.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, clothes are
Yeah.
optional at home. You're just kind of
Yeah.
like in loungewear or whatever that is to you. To me, it's a lovely robe. And I was just like
lovely woman.
relaxing whilst editing my videos, and I had an Amazon delivery. And I actually know my Amazon guy because it's the same guy where I am in London, like constantly, all day, every day. Usually, he buzzes the door, leaves a package on the floor, and just leaves. Instantly leaves. And I was
Lovely.
like, okay, I know what's going to happen. He buzzed the door, and I was like, excellent, my nail files are here, or whatever it was. And I went to the door and I was like, right, I'm just going to listen to make sure that like he's not coming up the stairs. And he came up the stairs and I was like, okay, that's fine. He'll leave it at the door. And I was like, yeah, I'll come get it in a second, blah. And he walks away and I thought he'd fully gone. Fully gone. So I opened the door and leaned down to pick up my parcel. My billowing robe billows open and I just fully flashed this guy. fully flashed. And he was just sort of, so my sort of corridor is like, you kind of go along and then downstairs to look back at my door. And I was like, I made eye contact with him and he just went, oh, you look really good today. And I was like, oh no, no.
Very nice though.
I know, but it's the
Yeah,
same
but-
guys, and I've seen him since, and I've been like, so
Nicer than
talk
just
about
going,
my
I
breasts.
like your boobs.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what he did because he looked a bit long, and I was like, oh, this is gonna
long?
be like you know when like you don't just go like, oh, someone's naked. You kind of
Oh,
go,
he looked.
He didn't
Oh.
look away.
he looked a bit long.
His
Yeah, it was
eyes
Slender Man.
lingered.
Yeah, lingered. That's the way. Yes, and I wasn't wearing lingerie.
Yeah, but then
for the lingering.
eyewitnesses would say that you opened the door and went,
Hello. Yes. Hello. I can't wait to see how this turns out. No, so that was what happened, and I have immediately regretted it ever since. And now, constantly,
baby.
I'm very alarmed at opening the door. So I'm like, immediately put on all the clothes I can find and just be like, right.
We quite often have to answer the door to deliveries like in half face or
I
like
can
wearing
imagine,
a bra
yeah.
or whatever. So that's kind of mortifying, especially if it's something that you have to sign for.
I just make her answer. I don't do it.
Like we have a ring, so normally you can just be like, "Oh, can you just like leave it on there? Just I don't want to come and see."
Don't
you right
brag,
now. I'm
we
not
have a
really
ring.
there." As if
It's an
that's
off-brand.
as if that's anything to brag about.
It's off-brand.
But if it's raining or if it's something that needs to be signed for, you're like, oh God, who looks the most human out of the two of us right now? Who could actually speak
I
to a
don't
human
do it.
being right
You just
now?
open the app and go, F off Gillian McKay. I can't do it. It's so embarrassing. Because some people will literally just like put it down and run out of fear.
I love
But
that.
then
love that.
but sometimes they'll just be like, Oh.
Hello.
And then you're like, yeah.
I'm into this.
Well,
Yes.
so talking about post people, this isn't really an embarrassing story, but it's the story nevertheless, is that my old postman used to misgender me at the front door. He'd be like, oh, so that man you live with meaning me to my ex at the time, well, my partner at the time. And I was like, I used to overhear this and be like, this is like, you're doing this on purpose now.
Oh, it's deliberate.
And, yeah, so
Completely.
my ex like corrected him multiple times, being like, you mean my girlfriend who's like in here? And he's like, no, your like man friend that you live with. And I was like, I could hear it constantly. And then I remember once he handed me something and it said Miss Luxeria on it, with my last name, which I don't really want to dox myself right now. And he was like, is this for you? I know something's not quite what I
what a
think it
C
is, kind of
word.
thing. And I was like, okay, I'm not having this. So I literally then wrote like this really long, scathing email to the Royal Mail, and I
Good.
never saw him again.
Good.
Never,
letter.
yeah,
Good.
never
Good.
saw him again. And he was kind of like, I think he was like a Gen X. Wait, are we Gen X? We're Gen Y, aren't
We're
we?
Y.
No. Yeah, so he was like, at like 45 and above, I would say. And I was just kind of like, you are being
You're
such a, like...
why? What?
Yeah, millennials are Gen Y.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Silly.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
silly
We had
bitch.
this.
We are all millennials here.
Conversation. Yes. No,
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, oh, she looks good for 45.
Thank you. It's all the Botox.
Yeah, Lux had a lot of surgery.
That's actually not true. Not yet, anyway. I'm going on the Swan in May.
Oh, I know one of yours. No, please, can I tell? Please, no, please, can I tell the story? Please.
Oh, why?
I think you must. I think you have
Please.
to let Roly tell
So-
you.
You obviously clearly know what this one
So,
story is.
I'm
you
going
can
to
say
tell
it.
Luxeria's story and then I'll tell it on my own. One of the first times we went out clubbing to Slimelight. It's a goth club that we go to sometimes. Very fun. We love it. But
We see a few of you there.
yeah, we actually, so a lot of our audience members are actually there, which is really
It's
fun.
an tusk place.
Yeah, very
Yes.
4
a.m.
But it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Satan.
So one of our first times we went there, we got absolutely smashed, and we didn't get home until about 5.
I think
It was like, yeah, it was like that. It was, so the sun was coming up, basically. It was starting to get light. I go to bed. We come in, kind of, we're both bit sort of out of it. Go to sleep. I go to my bedroom. And then, like, about 8 in the morning, I can just hear this, like, ringing sound. I'm like, what is going on? All I can hear is the doorbell thinking, and I'm like, who is buzzing at 8 in the morning? I was like, what's going on? And I just assumed Callum had, like, ordered, like, breakfast or something.
A dirty pizza or
Yeah, because
something.
he didn't come out with us or anything, but he was just like, and then I was like, what is going on? And it kept going on, and I was like, why is Callum not answering the fucking door? And then I get a message from him going, Luxeria was outside. We were like, why was she outside? What's going on? And she was topless outside with her like hands over her breasts, trying to get back into the apartment. She went up to the roof on our terrace bit, I don't know what she was doing, and all I knew, she comes in, she's standing in the living room going, I was outside, and she was down in the concierge asking the person going, like, saying our house number constantly over and over again. I need to go to blah 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 blah,
And they're
blah
busy
blah blah
calling
blah.
the police.
They did not help me at all. I just want to say those security people were like, "You need to leave." Whilst I was like fully
Yes,
just
because
dressed
you look like a
without
crazy
clothes
person.
on. Without clothes, how many clothes on?
She had her tits fully out, and all she had was like X's over her nipples because she's got her nipples pierced. So she was like, because obviously when we go clubbing, she wanted to rub. So like,
Just dox my piercing.
dox your piercing. And so she had her hands over her tits, crossed over, going la la yeah, meh, trying to get into the house. No idea why she was outside,
So
why she
I
went
think
outside.
You don't know why you had no clothes.
I have no idea what happened to me, but I do think I actually, for the first time in my life, sleptwalked. I think I was really drunk, and I think I sleptwalked. I think I got up to go to the bathroom or something, and just walked out the front door. And then, because I like woke up, I had a moment where I woke up like in the little gardeny place, and I was like,
terrifying.
Well, that's
and I was
scary.
instantly like, okay, I'm a trans person without my top on, in daylight, no makeup,
scary.
and I was like, I'm gonna die. And none of these people were like, where do you need to go? They were just kind of like, can you leave? Can you? And I was like, oh, no. So I was like, banging
Enough of
on
this
things.
riffraff.
Literally, and I was just like,
That's so scary.
Wow.
I was
Sounds
so
scary.
at the time I wasn't that scared. I was just really annoyed and cold. But like when I started thinking about it later, I was like, that was a really dangerous situation. Thank goodness
if
it
weren't
was.
so f***ing hilarious.
I know it's a funny story now, but my goodness, when it happened, I was like, what on earth has happened to me? I was genuinely quite.
Me and Callum are both just here going, what the hell is happening? She was in just living room. I was outside. I'm like, I think it's time for you to lie down.
Literally, I was so like gobsmacked.
Take mummy to
like,
bed.
So, I mean, my first one that I can think of that was absolutely mortifying. I was only 15 at the time. I was 15. I was going to the doctor's office because I used to have a mole on my chest, like a really big mole. As you can see, I've got lots of. I was having a breast implant. I was getting a uni boob. So obviously I've got a lot of moles and stuff, but I had like a really big one on my chest, and so I had to go get it removed. But I had to get it was like a checkup afterwards to make sure that everything went fine. And so as a gay person, most gay people can never sit with their legs down on chairs. So I would always sit with my legs cross-legged or like upwards, you know. I mean, which I can't do it now because it's. You're telling me that like as a gay person, you're never like on the sofa with your legs up. You don't just sit like this.
We're gonna have to. Just
I feel
wait.
like drag has kind of taught me to sit like Princess Diaries with like my
Really?
legs together.
Oh.
like a lady.
Bitch, when
just
are
because.
you sitting like that?
No, like I feel like I normally have my
walking in your
my
video
knees are
games
normally
like the
touching.
fucking
No.
queen.
If I'm obviously not on a sofa or like at home, but like if I'm sat like in a public place on the chair, I normally have like my legs together.
How are we supposed to sit? I don't.
Wait, obviously not here, but when
I know
I'm
what you
like,
mean. Like a lot of gay people, they normally have their legs crossed.
yeah, I always sit on my chair like
the
this
knee
normally. I'm like this. So I was in the doctor's office and I was just come up for school, so I had like my backpack on, and so I sat on the chair on my foot like I'm sitting now. So I sat on my foot, but somehow in this time, my strap on my left side of my bag got looped round
Don't
my
say
foot.
strap on.
Oh, the strap on, yeah. But my strap on, so my bag, my handle of the bag got looped round my left foot that was on the chair. So the person behind the counter was like, number 22.
I can see. Where
And
this is
I went to stand up. Bear in mind, it's full. It's full. This whole office is completely full. I stood up, and then as I got up, obviously I couldn't move my left leg. It got caught around the strap. And for some weird reason, my attempt of saving myself from falling over was to jump.
I hate it. I hate it.
So I thought I could
much.
like jump and then like fix my leg quickly because I knew what was going to happen. And I just
a very casual little jump,
yeah,
and everything
but
will be well again.
I bailed so hard. It was like my body just suddenly went horizontal. It went smack right onto the floor, face planted. There was no way of my arm saving myself either because my arm was like holding onto the bag trying to work out what happened, and it was just I sort of laid there for like a couple seconds going.
I'm on the floor.
Just like
I'm
this.
on the floor.
Yeah, and then I sort of you could just hear everyone around it. The silence in the room just sort of went.
Oh no!
And I was like, "Oh my god,
Did
I'm
nobody
going to die."
ask you if you were okay?
I would have just left.
No, they were all like old people and like.
People were like, I
They
do
laugh
not
at
see
you.
this.
There was so I stood up and I could just see the person behind the counter because I basically fell in front of her, but like I disappeared over the countertop. So she would have just seen me coming towards her, and then all of a sudden I'm just disappeared. And so I just stood up, and I could see the bar of the desk like slowly go down as I'm lifting myself back up. I could just see like her face slowly appear, like.
Oh my goodness.
People listening
she
on the
doing that
internet,
face
she was
or you?
mumbling. No, she was doing that because she was trying her hardest not to laugh at me.
Oh,
So-
I thought she was like in The Witches turning
No,
into a mouse.
she was like trying her hardest not to laugh, and I was like, "Thank you."
You slowly see her.
And then I just like ran into the doctor's
Did she
office
say
because
anything?
no, she was. I don't know
you
what
like
she
some
said.
tulips?
She just like gave me the ticket to go through the door, and I was just like. Thanks, and just ran. I just ran to the doctor's office, and I was in there for about maybe half an hour. So like
Just
a lot of
pray
people
the
had gone.
crowd in there are different to when
Yeah,
you left.
exactly.
Oh,
And as I
God.
came out, I just kind of like ran out. But and of course, as a very insecure 15-year-old who's struggling with all this other stuff, to have that attention on you, it was
I hate that.
vile.
I feel sick.
The idea that receptionist just called you your number and you instantly launched yourself off the chair and straight
do
onto
it
the
to
floor.
It was did like a catapulted myself. It was
Like one of the, those frogs that are like that, really that.
That is like a supervillain origin story. Like
Yeah.
that is the moment where you're like, I am going to
and then I
destroy
killed
the
everyone.
NHS.
I am Boris Johnson.
Nadine Dorries.
I would have just flat out been like, I could live with the mole. I'm gonna actually just.
I'm going to live with a mom.
I'm gonna leave just now.
I was going on holiday to Lanzarote for 2 weeks and I was scared about cancer. So I was like, take it off, bitch.
You're 18 to 30.
Yeah.
Oh, not 18 to 13.
Do you remember when that was a big deal? People would be like, we got me 18 to 30, girls. We're going on a coach trip.
By the way, guys, I apologize if any of the audio is funny or like if you can watch us on the video. We're like doing this all the time. I only have 2 microphones and we're trying to
a seance.
Yeah, we're doing a seance. Is anybody in this house?
Very, very Ouija.
It's very air hockey at the moment.
What's this?
So would you like to have a go now? We haven't seen
Yeah.
yours.
We haven't seen yours.
Yes.
We haven't seen. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Well,
Slut.
I was at the mole office. No.
Right. I'm calling the police. I'm spiking your drink
mole.
later and pushing you off a cliff.
So I had a mole on my chest. It looked like I dropped a digestive.
Yeah,
And
ooh.
no,
Oh no!
Cancelled.
no. You know what this is, but this is all you hate this story. I was wooing a gentleman, which I used to do that.
Oh.
Wooing.
Oh, that's cute.
I don't know. There was a time in my life when I would take gentlemen back to where I lived.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
post
Disgusting.
a club.
But which story is this?
Well, it was a gentleman, and it seems very strange to me now that you take people home.
I know what story this is.
Yes.
Oh no. No.
I won't tell.
No.
Listen, you can't stop him from doing it now. Not after that.
No.
No.
I won't say his name.
John.
Oh, not Farrah. Rouse.
Jimmy.
Oh, stop it, because you're going to guess it. Anyway,
Josephine.
But it's just where. Oh, it was Josephine
Yeah, it
Baker.
was, yeah.
It's just. So all night long. It's just weird to me now thinking about that you were that I found Josephine Baker in this club.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
f***ed her sideways. Nice.
It's broken the lady.
It's just weird to me though that like you would just bringing strangers home. It would seem like such a great idea when you were younger, but now it's just like I don't know who they are. Anyway, so we're getting, we're sort of easing ourselves into it, and it's very nice. And I'd put on maybe Avril Lavigne, Losing Grip, something like
Oh.
that.
She's getting baggy.
And so it gets into it, and I realise that he's spending time in areas that I wouldn't think. Wait, what's getting baggy? Wait,
What? He said losing grip, and I was like,
Just getting baggy. You're disgusting.
what's baggy?
Your baggy hole.
Losing grip of my sanity at the moment.
Yeah.
But he starts to spend time in areas where I was like, this seems strange. This seems like I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Oh, would you have a bogey
Because he's
fetish?
spending a lot of time around my feet.
oh
Okay.
no,
Yes.
not one of them.
And I was young at the time. I was young. What is Wiki Feet?
Have you had a wiki feet? So look, I only found out about this because of Callum. So strangely,
Oh yeah.
if you So I mean, I'm not trying to kink shame, but like, so what happens is basically like, if you just take a picture of your feet, not even like intentionally, so you're taking a selfie and your feet just happen to be in shot, within like minutes, your photo is going to be on WikiFeet. And it's like this whole database of like...
You shared a video or you shared a photo or something and your bare feet was in it. And I was just like, what are you doing that for?
Yeah, that was on
Wiki
Come Dine
Feet.
With Me. They put
Oh,
my
yes.
feet on it.
But
Yes.
but WikiFeet now, you literally within seconds, it has like a
How do I-
database of like
So do you
celebrities
search
or
for your
anyone.
feet?
You're not famous
Also, it's
enough,
like
don't worry.
Wikipedia for feet.
Yeah.
Wiki
Who
feet.
cares?
I know.
Anyway, the guy had a foot fetish. And
This guy would have cared.
He would have cared. But I was so young and I
CEO.
barely even knew like what that was. And I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, I guess he has a foot fetish. And he was like sucking on my big toe. And I was lying there thinking, I mean, this is great for him, I'm sure, because I think I have really nice feet. But I was like, am I supposed to get anything from this? Like, frig my toe. What am I doing? So I was like lying there like, oh, it feels like I'm sort of walking on a swamp sort of.
Oh no! Welcome to the
But
marshland.
then he moves on to my left foot, and I only remembered the second before my toe entered that I had a really infected, ingrown toenail. Wildly infected. If you were to look at it, like my whole toe looked like a lasagna. So,
Yeah, but surely he could see this and not want to do it.
well, he did it. He didn't check. Well, you wouldn't do like this piggy's gone to market. Is this okay to put in my mouth? So he.
Olympia.
And I was about to go like, yes, but can you imagine how much that would have killed the mood if I'd gone, oh no, don't do that one, it's infected. It would have killed good. So he sucked on it. But
And now he's dead.
it did cure the infection.
Oh! She's a witch.
Because basically, yeah, after it had finished, I looked down and I was like, oh, it looks really good. It looks really good. It cured it, but something probably came off.
Wait, did your toenail came off?
No, something came off though.
And he
I don't
ate
know what
it?
was. Well, it must have done.
A piece of viscera.
Viscera.
A nice verruca.
Well, the takeout never arrived, so that was a plus for him, probably.
Oh.
But I never saw him again, and I
Did he
stole
put it in
pants.
his MyFitnessPal?
I thought you were going to suggest that he put it in a small box,
Yeah.
Keep it as a keepsake.
like full of skin.
This is Olympia's
Yes.
virus.
So then, rumours were wild. They weren't really. No one cared. But I felt pretty bad. Is it an embarrassing story? I guess it's embarrassing. Has anyone done anything in terms of embarrassing shit? You know when say someone goes to open a door and you think they're going to go to hug you. Anything on those lines? Because I live for that.
They go to hug you.
No. So I saw a video and it was
Like
TikTok.
awkward,
And
misunderstood
it was this-
social cues.
It was this waiter leaning over a table to pick up a menu, and this woman just hugged him.
Oh.
And it was literally just like, yeah, you might be having a bad day, but have you ever done anything as embarrassing as hug the waiter who was picking up a glass? And I was just like,
me a nice
that's the
cuddle.
worst thing.
Well, my next story
was
involves
that?
ice cream. I don't know if I can.
Ice cream. Yeah, you
Ice
go
cream.
for it. Go for it.
Okay, so
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ooh.
A long time ago, back in 2011, the dawn of
In the
time,
1800s.
40s. So I don't know how I discovered this, but when I was a teenager, so I used to live in Brighton, and very much it was like a beach party, emos outside Borders, like every Saturday night.
Borders?
Do you remember Borders, the bookshop?
Yes.
Yeah,
Went into
so
administration.
Yes.
that was where all the emos and the goths and everything used to hang out in
To
Brighton
read?
anyway. No, well, it had a Starbucks. So it was kind of like get a coffee
There's
and
probably
then
a
just, like,
manga
pose.
section as well.
Very that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but like getting absolutely hammered face down on the beach somewhere on like, I don't know. I was going to say Scrumpy Jacks. I've never drank that. But like Strongbow, like the
yeah,
big
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And you go to
K.
the shop to get like served because you were underage. You have to be like, and that shop was
Diamond white.
Diamond White. There you go.
There was always one shop that would serve you. If
It was
you
the
were stalking
dodgiest
enough,
shop
yeah.
you've ever been to.
White Lightning.
White
Oh,
Lightning.
yes,
There you
yes,
go.
that.
So I don't know why, but somehow after being like absolutely hammered, in the mornings of like waking up with my friends like on the beach, we would go and get McDonald's not ice creams, McDonald's milkshakes, and then go home. And I always then realized that like somehow dairy on the day after really helps me like settle in from being absolutely hammered the night before. So fast forward a few years, it's 2012, I think it was, 2012, 2011. There used to be a club in central London. I probably can't actually say the name because you'll get flagged. It was basically T-Slur Shack.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this? So I used to go there on a Wednesday night, get absolutely hammered and come home. And eventually I started seeing my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend at that point. My ex-boyfriend now, but boyfriend at that point. And we would always like go home and just be like, I was like, I really want a milkshake on the way home. And I just could not get one anywhere. So we ended up going around the corner from my old place to like this little like off-licensing place. And they had like tubs of Ben & Jerry's. And I was like, I love the cookie dough. Off my face still. And I was like, I'll really enjoy this in the morning. Completely forgot to put it in the freezer, got indoors,
so
and
sad.
was like completely like undressed and would like collapse in bed. And I took it to bed with me.
A nice cushion.
A nice cushion of cookie dough ice cream. Yeah, basically. And like somehow it had opened and it just seeped all over me and the bed. And I just woke up the next day and I was like covered in ice cream. And I was like, this has not provided the anti-hangover that I would
So
actually
she tells this version
prefer.
of it. There was no ice cream. I mean, come on. She likes to pass this off as being the story.
Yeah.
She shat the bed.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, ploppy goo goo.
You tell her, yeah, oh, not that. We almost managed to get through it without.
I know. No, it was cocky dough.
She admits
Now
it.
the
She
truth
admits
comes
it.
out.
The truth
Now the
comes
truth
out.
comes
The
out.
truth comes
A
out.
Freudian
Cock.
slip.
Cocky
Freudian
goo
slip.
goo.
No, it was cookie dough ice cream, but it was all over me. It seeped like through into my mattress, and at the time it was like a furnished place.
seeped into the
It was
mattress?
seeped everywhere.
No
So the,
story.
like
the truth is, it
hours.
was ice cream, but it was also a sex thing.
There's no good story.
Lux-
ever.
yeah,
It
Luxeria.
seeped into the mattress.
Luxeria is into
Seeped
sploosing.
everywhere.
What's
Seeped
sploosing?
everywhere.
So what's sploosing?
Oh, no, let's no.
Luxeria is a sploosher.
I'm not. What's this?
That's we're doing the ice cream.
Is that like
I don't know what it
munging?
is.
What? No, it's not munging. No, it's not. I have never in my life heard anyone say that and know what it is. It's clearly not a real thing, but you're the
You know
first
what it
person
is.
Is
ever
this some
who
kind
has-
of like Pain Olympics
No,
bullshit?
no. Stop that.
No,
No.
I've never
There
heard.
wouldn't be any pain.
So this is SoundCloud exclusive because we can't put this on YouTube. So we're back. If you happen to listen on iTunes or SoundCloud, you get a special part there.
Horrible.
Oh no, that's an embarrassing story. So I have told this a little while ago on camera. I think it was in the Dating Disasters one, but I'll tell you guys. I was once with a guy that I was in school with who we used to we were F buddies. And at the time, my grandma was still alive, and she was notorious. She was one of those notorious people who was just like, would just walk into the bedroom without knocking, without doing anything. Would never, ever, ever like. I'm sure like a parent or someone would always do that, and I was like, why are you never knocking? But she would always be like, hello. I don't think it's because she was trying to catch you out or anything. I think she just didn't think. I think she wasn't thinking.
That would piss me right off.
But I was in the middle of giving him oral sex, and she bursts through the door.
You.
I know, just I was vile. I'm
Shut your whore mouth.
dirty puff. So I was in the middle of doing that. And as she opened the door, obviously I'm an unclean woman, rabid. So she comes in. He jumps back. He jumps back really quickly, but of course, because he's inside my mouth, as he jumps back, it grazes.
Oh,
upon-
no.
His skin obviously grazes on my teeth because he like jumps back so quickly. And so I don't know if she really knew what we were doing. I'm sure she did, but like, so it like probably like hurt him badly on his like penis because obviously it was in my mouth
penis.
and it penis on his dinkle because it grazes against my teeth, and I was just like, oh my god. So that day we could never do it in the house again because we were too scared. So we used to go down the river and have sex by the river.
That's quite romantic by the river.
Is it?
Look, as LGBT people, we took what we could get at the time. We would do
get
whatever
to
the fuck
choose
we-
our family.
Yeah, we get to, yeah. It's a very emotional
people
moment.
that we're
Yes.
around.
Have you ever heard of munging?
Oh, not this.
Well, one,
No, but
my grandma was.
Well, yeah, after she went. No, so like, that's what happened though. That was the thing. At the time, like you just kind of got what you got. So we just decided we couldn't do it in the house anymore
And
because
she
it was
didn't
like,
say anything.
well, she never did.
She wasn't
but,
like, what's all this?
I don't know because this thing I don't know because I never like officially came out to her before she died. So I don't know if she knew that I was gay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but like.
Did you think you were polishing it?
I don't know. Like, I don't know because she never said anything again about it. She never said anything about it.
Oh, that's very British though, isn't it? Like,
Stiff
upper lip.
Yes,
Don't mention the
very,
things
very.
behind closed
Something was
doors.
stiff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Wasn't stiff after that though. Let me tell you.
I got wedged once.
Wedged.
I got wedged.
What's wedged?
Now
Is
listen.
it wedged?
No, as in I physically was like wedged.
Oh dear.
No, I almost drowned. So it's
It's
no.
a bit embarrassing.
No.
This is my
You didn't
near
almost
death.
drown.
Welcome to the
Near
Near Death Experience podcast.
Near death I was.
Crime. Did she do it?
My
Did
whole
she do
life
it?
Oh, you do
flashed.
exaggerate.
My whole life flashed before my eyes.
And it was shit.
was really boring.
That was the day that I got into mad philanthropy.
I thought you were going to say mad cow disease.
That's my drag name. Yeah.
Remember where we were, but it was like holiday. It was like Tenerife or something. Something Tenerife. And I was young, but I was young fat kid, and I had I'd overestimated my ability to. It was a swimming pool, and it was those like bars in the pool. You get bars, and you can swim up and sit on like stools, but you're in the pool. I had decided, in my great wisdom, to try and slalom the stools.
Slalom.
What does that mean?
That's
Yes,
a
you
lovely
know.
word.
Slalom.
Slalom. That's what they do on crusts.
So I was like, I loved swimming as a kid. I thought of myself, I was like a fucking like whale.
Oh, I was
But I was
actually
like,
ominous glow.
I loved just like going in under the water and pretending I was a fish. I loved that. So I was like, I'm gonna go in between these fucking.
Gay.
But there were these like, columns with like mosaic on them. These like circular, and they went all the way down to the bottom of the pool, so you could sit on them. And I was like, I'm gonna try and weave in. And I literally went, and then I went in between these like stools, and I was like, oh. Right, no, can't do that. And I was wedged.
Quick, get the butter.
I was wedged, and I was like,
Underwater?
okay. Yeah, I was underwater, and I was like, all right, well, I am now currently wedged. I was like, all right, oh my God, this is how it happens. This is how it ends. I'm going to be on the news. And then I managed to kind of just like push myself back through, but it was literally like skin against
were you
mosaic.
really, like, worried? Were you really like, oh no, this
I
is
thought I
the
was
end?
going to die. I thought I was going to drown. And then I got out and I looked up and I sort of was just like, when you suddenly notice nature and sounds and smells.
You're like, oh, maybe life isn't so bad after
Yes.
all.
And I was like, really got to do something about my weight. Just never did. I've never been stuck in a lift though.
Me neither. And
I
I don't
always
want
think
to
I
start
would
doing
be-
that.
I'm eaten by an
I
escalator.
was just about to scream that at the top of my lungs.
Oh, escalators are scary though, aren't they?
We watched a show recently called Eaten by an Escalator. And it was literally about people that have been eaten by escalators.
Do you remember that child
It
in
was
H&M?
so good. You need to watch it. It's so good.
There was a child. There was a child in H&M at Castle Point that was eaten by an escalator. Well, they lost their hand. Do you remember? Do you remember? It was like local news for like ages.
You have to say it kind of like
Tonight
eaten by an escalator. And then they had part 2 when lifts kill.
If I
was
remember,
amazing.
if I remember correctly, this child was playing with the escalator the wrong way. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just natural selection. Like
It's rude.
I don't have any patience, but how grim.
Previously on Eaten by an Escalator.
No, we were just going. We were at Owen Towers. We were just in the hotel room, going like, we've got an evening to kill because we were there the day before, so we have to drive up on the day. I'm like, let's just flip through the TV that was on it, and all of a sudden, this TV show, just the title just kept going, "Eaten by an
Just
escalator."
like, I'll bite.
Yeah,
we were like, yeah.
Oh,
They
this
are
is quite,
scary.
it's quite good actually. Yes, we watch. It's really good. You need to watch it. It's on
999.
5OD or whatever it's called.
999. I've got gout.
by an escalator.
Have you ever dropped? Have you ever dropped dead? Have you ever split your trousers open in like the club
I
or something?
have,
I remember
yes.
I was with my friend Matt and we were like dancing and I like went to do like a slut drop because I was disgusting.
Oh, do you remember
And the
them
whole
slut drops?
yeah, 'cause
They're gone now, aren't they?
I wanted to stress that I wasn't doing it because I was like I can do a slut drop. It was like lol, let's just be stupid. It wasn't actually serious. I wasn't going oh look at me. But I was like trying to be the comedian and did it, and my entire trousers in the club just ripped open because I was wearing chinos at the time, so like they didn't.
Mine were chinos.
Yeah.
They
because they
didn't
don't
hold
stretch.
together.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my god! So I had to like take off my t-shirt and like wrap it around me. So I was kind of like half. I had like a vest on underneath. Lucky enough, I wasn't topless, but like I was so mortified because obviously everyone around you sees you and you're like, great,
Yeah, easy access slut.
yes. And then we f***ed in the toilet. Like, what?
I have none of these. I have no like ripping situations. Sorry.
No.
She just lets rip on the dance floor.
Tell us when you're on Channel 5's I'm Married.
I married an escalator.
Sky One's I bummed an escalator.
God, disgusting.
Definitely get you talked
Well, this
about.
is taking a turn. It's like embarrassing stories to I bummed an escalator.
Well, there's a lot of my weird addictions where people marry inanimate objects, isn't it? There was that person that like married a bridge, and there was someone that like f***ed their car.
Yeah, but I feel like some of this is
Is that
my
my strange addiction, or is that something else?
strange addiction. But I feel like some of that is just like they make it up just to get on TV.
A woman who
addiction.
thinks about death has to be like not real. She's
Yeah.
like, and she only thought about death twice this week.
Because do you remember? It was years ago. I think it was like when we were actual really children. So I remember watching it or learning about it later. And it was that stupid TV show. And like there was, I don't know if it was the whole TV show or there was a segment where like these people would come on and do the most disgusting things ever. And the slogan was, I'll do anything to get on TV.
Oh my god, the guy made out with the grandma.
Yeah, and there's that one woman who ate like an entire jar of mayonnaise, terrible for you.
I do
and
anything
there was,
to get on TV.
It was like, yeah, and they would do this like disgusting things.
Was it just Olympia?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh.
It was last week.
But they would say it before. They'd say, I do anything to get on TV.
And then they were just like disgusting.
It was like there was like a builder who made out with this like 85, 90-year-old woman. And that was like peak telly, I think.
I feel like this show could not exist anymore now with YouTube, could it?
Why?
But that
You
thing is
could
that,
just
yeah, because that
record
was
yourself doing something and stick it on the internet.
that was back in the day when like being on TV and being on reality TV was so
Yeah.
praised and sought after. It was like you literally do whatever.
Shocking.
Just like.
Yeah, it was
but
new and different.
Yeah, it
vibrant,
Sounds a little bit like
exciting.
Balls of Steel when they did that, all that nonsense.
did you ever watch Balls of Steel? Yeah.
I don't know that one.
I remember that.
Can we just say British TV in the 90s and early
Shocking.
noughties was insane. Like
street bait,
beyond like
A
just
lawless place.
yeah, really weird.
All
Like
of that shit, and they never picked me up for my idea, which was you go outside
Full stop.
a bathroom and you wait for someone to come out, and then with a giant microphone you say, "What did you just do in there?"
Oh.
never got picked up. I thought
It's actually got a new exclusive for their Patreon.
That's
a great idea.
just harassment.
Novympia's harassment race.
I mean, to be honest, back in those days, harassment didn't exist on TV. It was like we will do whatever we want to you. We'll get on with. We'll get over
Well,
it.
there's something about Miriam, isn't there?
Well, I think you've missed the boat, darling.
This conversation has become very strange.
Just disintegrated.
Yeah, it's just-
Did anyone have any illusions it wasn't just going to be?
To be honest, I
fucking-
feel like whenever me and Luxeria film anything, there is always another's video's worth of just outtakes where it's just utter nonsense. Where we either
With
just
good intentions.
yeah, we're either just shouting at each other or just like talking about stuff that is completely irrelevant to the point that we're talking.
It's just hard to keep on the same thing.
You ever like accidentally said something to the wrong person? Like you didn't.
Oh, I've done that before. I remember that you know, like when you make friends at the club, and it's just like, oh, we're best friends now. I've only ever just met you. And there was this one girl that I think I was in drag, and I was just like, you're really cool. I'm gonna be friends with you, like you. Added her on Instagram, and then like a couple of weeks later, like I think I messaged her, and I was just like, oh, you're gonna be out, and this person replied like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then like I never saw them out, and like a few weeks later, I was looking at this person's messages. I'm thinking they're not from Bournemouth, and I just messaged like a completely different person, like just some random person that followed me. I had no idea who they were, and I was just like, as if they responded like, oh yeah, maybe. Like I don't think I've ever met this person before. So yeah, I've done that before.
That's just fucking idiotic.
It is.
I went on a date with someone, and I texted as soon as the date was over what I thought was my friend about the date, and I'd sent it to him. We went to see him. This guy was. I had this really awful habit of dating really f***ing stupid guys, like dumb, so
Little
dumb.
himbos.
And I would just talk to them and be
Past
like, "How does this keep happening? Like they just can't string a sentence together." So anyway, after it ended, I texted my friend, but I thought it was friend. I was like, "Oh my god, that movie was so great." Shame about the fucking guy though. Like, what a dumb fuck. And then he replied, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "We're just carrying on that joke from earlier on." And he was like, "What joke?" And I was like, "Oh, you mustn't remember it."
Mortification.
I mean, I never saw him again, but oh my god, it was like I was just kind of looking away, and I was like, "Wait, who did I send that to?" And then that kind of moment when it's like you look at the name and you just want to just jump out. I was on a bus, I just wanted to jump out the window.
I have done the exact same thing, but once again, my tits were fully out, and I was doing a fake. I took
about?
a photo.
She's got a thing about her tits getting out.
Enough of exposing yourself.
Literally, it's ridiculous. I was actually taking. I've shared this story before as well. So I am really into fake tanning, and I was like, right, I'm going to take this nice little selfie, and it was to my ex at the time, and I didn't realize that I was talking on WhatsApp to my other friend who's trans, and I was just like, we were having this long conversation about like plans we have for the next year coming up, and I just right at the very end was just like, here's a tits out selfie, me putting fake tan on, and she didn't respond for ages, but she'd seen it, and I was like, and I still didn't clock, and I was like, why hasn't he responded to me about like what's happening? And then I looked at my messages, and I was like, I sent that to my trans friend. Oops, she's gonna be like. So then then she literally, as I was there, she was typing, and I was like, what's gonna happen? She was like, oh, they look nice. I was like,
yes, they're lovely.
thank you. And I was like, I phoned her and I was like, I'm so sorry. This was not meant for you, sis.
I remember my so she won't mind me telling the story. My friend Hannah, when we were in school, one of our other friends at the time was dating just like a girl. Blah 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 blah. Do you know kind of like you got your school friendship groups? And everyone's kind of dated everyone. Everyone's kind of been, and it's always a bit kind of it's all a bit incestuous. But so he was dating this girl who was in our friendship group. But at the same time, I knew that he had a crush on my friend Hannah. And we were a bit like, it's a bit weird that you're kind of crushing on her while you're dating this other girl. He, for some weird reason, decided to message like Hannah a message going like, oh, I love you so much, blah blah, can I be with you, blah 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 blah, like blah 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 blah, gonna say all that kind of stuff. But he sent it to his actual girlfriend instead, and was just like But the thing is, we were all together at like the time, so we saw it happening in like real time as it was going on, and it was just like the faces of all these people were just suddenly
God, make it not
happened, and it was like typical like 17-year-olds all being an absolute mess. But it was just like, how does this stop? Like, just stop for 2 seconds and look what you're doing.
I texted Nova when we were with someone, and I said,
I was just trying to think, is there a way we can share these
Yes,
anecdotes?
yes. I
Because I
texted Nova
don't
and I
think
said,
these people
this
will listen to
person-
this, but also like, let's
they're
not.
not
Yeah,
gonna-
no.
Well, I basically texted Nova and said, oh my God, like, next to me he's just farted. And they had picked up Nova's phone. And then
they
this guy
had
was
my
like,
phone in their hand.
turned to me and he was like, I've not farted, by the way. And I was like,
Oh,
But this
my God.
same person. So I remember like bitching about this person to another friend of ours, and they were like, "Oh, you have to send us a photo of them." So I had my phone and I went like, and of course the flash goes off,
Oh, for God's sake.
and I'm about this distance from them, and
So
I was just
like
like,
those
I was like,
The paparazzi.
this bloody phone, honestly.
Paparazzi are everywhere.
I can't ever use my phone. That's how it works. Oh, that's so. God,
That
it's
was
awful.
embarrassing. That was mortifying.
Thank you for sharing with
Yes.
the group today.
I feel like it would be good if we also told the one about the infamous one, which it's never actually been put down anywhere recorded, about Shah coming back to our house that one time, because I love that story so much, and we've never actually said it in a video.
Are we getting an
Oh,
exclusive?
okay, so
The Novympia
yeah.
exclusive.
A gag of the Millennial exclusive here, girls.
We're at the bar. We're all at the bar. We're all in drag. We're all having a lovely evening, lovely time. Here come the girls. We decide.
Have a day off.
we decide to leave. So we left Shah.
Decide to leave.
Well, before Shah was working doing bar work, she would do this thing where, oh, it's home time now. You're not coming with us, are you, Shah? No, you're gonna stay out, aren't you, Shah?
She used to come back with us when we lived quite far away from her, and she'd stay the night, and then we'd have like a hangover Sunday situation. And it would always be, Shah, all your stuff's at ours. You have to come back with us. Fucking come back with us now. And she'd always just be like, no, I'm gonna fucking stay. And she'd always just like cling on to some poor fucking Josephine Baker at the bar. And she wouldn't. So we left and we went down to the cab rank. We got a cab, and then just as we left, Charmaine was like, oh, maybe I should go. There's no one really here. I don't know why I bother saying. She leaves and she legs it down to the cab rank in heels, in just her like disgusting drag that she's got on, hair just like halfway down her face. And she realizes we've already left, and she thinks, well, if I get in a cab quick enough, I'll just like hightail, follow that car situation.
So it's a taxi rank. There's probably about 3 taxis there. She goes past the first taxi. She goes past the second taxi. She goes past the third taxi. Oh, look, a 4th unmarked vehicle. I'm going to climb into that.
Oh my God.
So Charmaine gets in. There's 3 cars
Where's my ring?
with cab logos on, and she decides to get in this random, like, broken down sedan, like Homer Simpson's car, and she climbs in. The cab driver is
Got a bit
suspicious.
weird. Got a bit.
It starts to come across to Shah very quickly that this driver is perhaps, you know,
A bit of a chaser.
To a cross-dresser.
inclined to a crossy. And Shah said something along the lines of like, I've run out of cigs. And the driver just offered to stop and go and buy her some. At which point Shah was like, that's not regular behaviour for a cab driver to just be like, I'll go and
not
buy
only
you.
stop so you can hop out, to actually go and buy them
I will
for
buy
you.
you cigarettes for you.
Is this payment?
Obviously, as if to be like, because then when we stop, you can like give me a Johnny or
Oh,
something.
disgraceful.
A jolly, not a Johnny.
That's a bit different.
A jolly. So the cab driver starts to become very kind of a lechy, at which point Shah says, oh, just stop here a second. And she gets out and she runs. She fucking runs for her life. She gets to our house and she drops her shoe. She tries to get inside the house, but we've fallen asleep.
This is
by
about
this point.
3 a.m.
We're asleep.
wow.
We're asleep. And she tries to get in the house. And she takes her heels off and she ditches them in the bush in the front of the house.
To her credit, she did try to ring us, and obviously we didn't answer because
we
we're
were
asleep.
asleep and
We're
drunk
asleep,
and-
yes.
As you well know, if someone's trying to get in,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's not easy.
No.
Sometimes it's me.
Hold your tits, girl.
And this would have been almost daylight because it was like the height of summer, so it wasn't like pitch black safety of nighttime anymore.
So she ditches her shoes and she decides to climb over our side gate. So she gets the wheelie bin and she aligns it. She climbs over the gate and she manages to scale like a drunk fucking Spider-Man over the side of our house.
What if the neighbours
Around
were
the
like,
back.
this is raging
Yeah, it's
cross-dresser
back
climbing.
Excuse me, Buffalo Bill's breaking in next door. And then so she tries to get through into the back thinking it would be open, which of course it's not because we would have locked it because
Sensible adult
you
human
lock,
beings.
you lock your house, don't you? So then we wake up and I'm looking at my phone and it's all these messages and it's Instagram messages and everyone's saying, look in your garden. I'm like, oh my God, we're on the news. What's this? Because Shah's put in her story this big saga of, well, I'm in the Heights garden, can't get in. I'm reclining on the sofa. They're not answering. And I just turned over and I just said, I think Shah's in the garden. And we go down and I slowly pull back. It's like Silent Witness, very slowly. And I could just see her with a cigarette. And this must have been at like 7, 8 a.m. by this point. And she's just sitting out there smoking, just staring at me. Like she didn't bother going to sleep or anything. And I was like, how did you get in the garden? And she said, I had to climb over the gate, didn't I? So it took me a while, and I put the wheelie bin here, and I tried to do this, and I balanced on this gutter and everything.
And then I come from behind Olympia hearing this, and I said,
oh.
I have actually forgotten to lock that gate. It wasn't locked. You could have just come through. Like, it's not locked.
You mean this open gate? It's like this big grand plan where she's hidden her shoes and climbed over and everything. She could have just walked in. She's such a prick. But anyway, I love that. There's so many elements of that story which is so bizarre, but she's a prick.
This was primary school, so I think I was in year 5.
Heinous.
So we with our school, because it was so tiny, like it was like year 5 and 6 were together, so we were all in together. So faces, yeah, just constantly. Yeah, I went to it was
human feces.
Love it. Lux into splooshing, so it's almost there. I was sitting on my table, and I don't know why. I don't know what it was about this day, but I just was too scared to ask the teacher to go to the toilet. I don't know why I was scared, because I was like, I genuinely don't understand. And I just like sat there and was like, I just shat myself, and I don't know why I did it.
That's really sad.
You probably too afraid to stick your hand up. Like, that was a really stressful time. I can
yeah.
remember being
Anxiety.
don't ask anything, nothing on me. Yeah, so you.
So I was yeah. And I don't know why I did it, and I was just like sitting there going, "Oh my god, what the hell am I supposed to do?" And like the teacher, about maybe 10 minutes later, was walking around going to each table, being like, "What are you guys doing? Like, are you enjoying your lesson?" Blah blah blah.
I went, oh my god!
And she kind of came over and she was like, so what's that smell? And I was just like,
I was like, shit around.
So like a couple minutes later, I was just like, can I go to the bathroom? I actually managed to ask her to the bathroom, went to the bathroom, kind of like cleaned myself up in the toilet. But like, I don't know why I did it. I was so mortified. And I don't know if anyone knew that it was me who did that, but like.
You shat yourself and nobody knew.
Oh, they must.
Well, no, like people knew that it happened, but I don't know if like the kids knew who it was.
Who shat themselves, and you said, I need to go to the bathroom, and then you had to cup your ass on the way out, and like, who did it? Who was it? And I'm like,
I don't know, but it was
poo Pete over it.
It was awful. I actually pissed. I remember we were on a residential as well, and I pissed myself coming back from canoeing because we were so. Taking
somebody
ages.
needs.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
Depends for men.
No. So I again. I was only about maybe 7 years old. We were coming out from like doing like kayaking or something. It was one of the water sports we were doing. Don't shut up. Disgusting. There was scum. Talk about a 7-year-old. And I was trying to run up to the dorm as quick as I possibly could, but I couldn't make it enough because it was a massive building we were staying in. And I got sort of just up to the bottom of the stairs and just like pissed myself.
Have you done a poo in a canoe?
Our neighbour had dogs, 2 dogs. And I think it was Easter time, and one of them ate like an Easter egg. And obviously dogs can't eat chocolate. Mm-hmm. So luckily, I mean, not luckily for the owner, but luckily for the dog, then proceeded to have like violent diarrhea all over this rug. And our neighbour rolled it up, stuck it in the bin outside to be collected. And it was kind of like, because it was a long rug, it was like poking out of the bin. Mm-hmm. And the kitchen to our neighbour's house would have been facing the front of her house. So she could see the bin from her kitchen. And one morning when I don't think the bins were being collected, but she watched these 2 like Del Boy characters walking down the road, and they saw this rug poking out of the bin, and they kind of like elbowed each other like, oh, look at this is a nice rug. And they took it out of the bin and just went off with it.
And you could tell them being like, oh yeah, great one, yeah.
They've really got something.
And cry with love at the idea of these 2 guys unfolding this rug to just a horrific diarrhea.
This is the same neighbour who we had a bin problem, and they wouldn't take our bins, and they were there over summer for ages and ages and ages. And then at one point, she was convinced that there was just human shit like on this bin. So she was running around the street going, human feces, human feces. And she was like screaming this. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, what is this? And she goes, some dirty beggar has pooed on our bed. And then you said, how do you know it's human? She goes, a mother knows. A mother knows. And she would just walk off into the village. You could still hear her screaming like, human feces. Bizarre. And that's when we had to move.
I'm not surprised.
That was the day we moved.
I do often wonder how people just survive in society, just on like a day-to-day basis.
What's that? about?
Working in retail shows you the level of stupidity that some people have, and I'm like, I don't know how you survive. I genuinely have no idea how
Did
you
you
keep
ever have
yourself
to
alive.
clean up poo in retail?
No, we had someone
I
piss on
have.
the floor once, and they just like pissed against the till and I ran away. And I was like, I'm not going to deal with this shit. I'm not trained.
Yeah, I'm not trained in biohazard material.
me. But yeah, just working in retail showed you the stupidity of people.
She used to have a repeat offender.
Well-
Can't talk about it.
It's not even a story. Just like hairdressing had an elderly client who used to miss the toilet, and I don't know if she knew or not, but like I kind of learned to go in there and check
probably
afterwards.
Missed the.
She knew.
What was she trying to
I feel
stand
because
up?
I don't. I'm not sure. I think because
Just like, this is for you.
being so frail, not very like ably bodied, maybe wasn't aware that like she had completed as she got up, or maybe couldn't get quite as down as far as the toilet. I don't know.
As she got up. Oh no.
She pisses when she farts. Sometimes she sharts. Booty rock a cowgirl, come to my salon.
I think that's an excellent place
Disgusting.
to
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
well, this
Ploppy
one has
goo-goo.
been ploppy goo goo.
discuss. This is not. You can't put this on the internet.
So, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
I hate that like our guest appearance has just dissolved into
Shit.
talking
That's what I
about
wanted
poo.
it to be. I wanted it to be what we talk about. So we have a group chat, and our group chat we have on WhatsApp is just absolute chaos. So I'm glad that this is, you saw just a tiny glimpse of our reality together.
Not good, is it?
I enjoy now sometimes in your videos you'd be like, no, Novympia, go away, leave me alone.
Yeah, but one of you docked the name of it.
I was me. I was like, it's the Piss Bandits. I love it.
Where did that come from? Who knows?
Who knows?
It would take you hours to find the genesis of that.
Genesis. That's a bit much for that.
What's all this about?
Well-
thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm sure at some point we will. So basically, what we're gonna do is, next time we're together, we'll probably do a video where we do like not a podcast episode, but it'll be for you guys, and we'll have some more a game or something. I don't know. You've got to decide.
We'll get a tie.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
But anyway,
Perfect.
thank you to everyone who's watched on here. If you are part of the YouTuber clan, thank you for joining. And make sure you do what?
Did you just say clown?
Clan.
Clan.
Yeah, welcome.
YouTuber
Yeah,
clown.
welcome to the circus.
That's
Gag
me.
of the circus.
Oh.
Sagas. Circus of the millennials.
happening?
I don't know. A gape.
Gout.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell to miss any videos that are coming up. And of course, if you do want to listen to the audio version, there is bonus bits in this one. So go over to SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, all the stuff you can listen to podcasts. We are there. Lots of love to you. We will see you very soon. Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye.